Welcome to the Voice on Demand podcast by the MECSR, the voice of the shopping centers and retailers in the MENA region. Hello everyone. It is a very wonderful day for another episode of the Voice on Demand podcast. We are here with David Telfer. He's the General Manager of TEN Dubai, and Arnaud Bouzinac, Sales Director from MAPIC. Hi guys.
Thank you very much for having us. Pleasure to be here. So my name's David Telfer. I'm the General Manager of TEN Dubai. TEN Dubai is a business that was created 3 years ago, and coincidentally that is when I stopped being an employee sitting in Paris with the ReadMeDem and the MAPIC team. So I've actually been part of the MAPIC team for nearly 9 years now. I have been based in Dubai for these past 3 years, but working in the region and traveling out from Paris to Dubai, not just Dubai, but to the whole of the Middle East for at least 9 years now, and have a much more direct relationship because I'm based here. And as we all know, seeing our clients face to face makes all the difference.
How about you, Arnaud? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Arnaud, and I'm a sales director for ReadMeDem, which is the company owning and operating MAPIC. I'm a sales director for the Middle East region, and I've actually worked for ReadMeDem for 6 years now, and I actually happen to have lived in Dubai for 8 years, from 2005 to 2012. So I do have a very strong knowledge of the market, and I was also working for a real estate company. So it's always a great pleasure for me to be in the region and to support its development in the world.
So we're here now to talk about MAPIC. What is it all about? When and where is it going to be held?
So MAPIC is celebrating a 25th exhibition this time. This year, so it's going to be November 13th to 15th, and we're expecting just about 9,000 people this year, and very, very excited about it.
Well, that is amazing. Now, I also heard about MAPIC partnering up with MECSR. Could you explain this a bit more, and why do you think this will be important for the industry?
Okay, I'll take this one. I know that MAPIC's been running for a very long time. As Arnaud said, we're coming up towards our 25th anniversary. And the Middle East Council of Shopping Centres is the reference, as far as we're concerned, for shopping centre development and also retail in the region. But what's so exciting about what is happening this year is that we're partnering. It's never happened before. We've actually never had a Middle East pavilion at MAPIC. So that's the big flag-waving indicator this year that we're so excited about. For the first time, we have a platform where international retail audiences can really engage with retailers and retail developers from this region. And I suppose I should add that the reason that that's so important is that up until now, there's been independent companies coming, and it's very easy to get lost at MAPIC. Some of the people listening to this podcast may have been to MAPIC. A lot of people won't have been to MAPIC. But in a nutshell, when you've got 9,000 people in an exhibition and in the city of Cannes at one time, trying to find individual companies and the right people that you want to is an absolute nightmare. So having a real hub where that can happen, that's fundamental to having a really, really successful and enjoyable event. And that's the core of why we're so pleased to be working together with MECSR.
What about you, Arnold? What are your thoughts on this?
So MAPIC is the only event in the world that gathers the global community of CEOs and decision makers from the retail real estate industry. It's a global event. We have more than 80 countries represented. And it provides unique opportunities to network with retailers, shopping center managers and developers, but also all the players around the industry that support the development of shopping destinations, such as leisure operators, innovation companies that develop applications, and the digital services to make the experience more friendly in shopping destinations.
Hello, David McAdam here. I'm the CEO of the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers, +R, and I'm here welcoming our two guests today. We have a fabulous day talking about MAPIC, talking about what's going on with the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers, and we're so pleased to be able to report of our link together to try and really raise the profile of the Middle East region raise the profile of the people who are in the industry in the region, and also to help them to facilitate their business in MAPIC with these two gentlemen that we have in the studio today. One of the things that I would really like to start on is that the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers, by its very name, has been about shopping centers. But at the MAPIC event this year, we're also unleashing our new name because it's called the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers +R for retail. And I know that we've always had 40% of our members as retailers, but we wanted to really recognize them this year. David, what do you think that means for the retailers?
I think that the Middle East is for a lot of our audience, and when retailers are coming in and looking at the region, they need to be able to connect with a really trusted partner. And what that means going the other way, so from Middle East retailers who are looking internationally, well, it's exactly the same principle. They need a trusted partner to do that with, and in that case, that's MAPIC. We are the industry standard for the event, and being able to do that hand in hand with the Middle East Council of Shopping Centres and retail, it gives a really great supported funnel through to international retail developments. And we're not just talking malls, we might be talking transportation hubs, we're talking leisure destinations, we're talking new technology, we're talking innovation, and the entrepreneurial spirit that we have so clearly in the Middle East have always been leaders in the retail market. So being able to join forces, to go hand in hand with our existing clients and take them to market together will just be phenomenal. We will really see a marked increase in the number of people that are making meaningful connections at MAPIC, and it will be through this partnership.
Arnaud, what do you think the biggest thing is with having the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers and MAPIC together? What is it for you?
Well, what it means for us is cementing the relationship with some of the key players that have already been exhibiting at MAPIC or participating at MAPIC. We've had the chance to work with companies such as Maidan, with Majid Al Futtaim, and but it's another level, and it's another level of collaboration and partnership that we are developing. So this for us means that we want the Middle East to become a highlight of MAPIC long term, and we want to grow that relationship and that partnership to say to the Middle East market, we're here, we're listening to you, we're aware of your challenges, but we're also aware of the greatness that's in the area, and we want to showcase it to the world. And I think having the pavilion really cements that approach, because players will always be stronger together, and rather than having individual companies exhibiting at MAPIC from the Middle East, of course some companies may still want to do that, but to have a pavilion really makes all those companies stronger together, and allows them to deliver a strong message to the world, really. That's what it is.
Fantastic. That is certainly a good point. What do you think MAPIC can give that is new compared to other events out there, aside from the pavilion? Because right now there are so many events, not only in Dubai, but the whole world. So many gatherings, conferences, other events. What makes MAPIC very, very different?
Oh, I think what makes MAPIC different, so MAPIC initially has been created as a platform to connect the CEOs and top management level executives of the shopping mall and shopping destination industry. It's essentially a transactional platform. So typically we have all the key mall and shopping destination developers around the world that are exhibiting. We're talking over 500 companies. And we've got the retailers from all over the world that come to MAPIC to do business with these shopping centers. So essentially it's the transaction and the lease signing and the expansion strategy of the retailers at the heart of the event.
David, back to you. What's the outcome that you would hope for? What's the best outcome from our new relationship between Middle East Council of Shopping Centers, retail, plus MAPIC?
So the answer to that question is what everyone wants to hear. The outcome that we will have, and that ultimately we're striving towards, is that we want MAPIC to be an annual calendar, an almost unmissable date in your diary. If you are in retail and you want to know where you're going in the Middle East, you come to MAPIC and you talk to the Middle East Council of Shopping Centres. If you are a mall developer within one of the GCC or Middle East countries, and you are looking for the next big thing, or you are looking to talk directly to the decision makers from the brands that you might work with but through intermediaries in the region, then you come to MAPIC every November. And I think the best way for me to explain this as an umbrella is that there is no other event that has such great participation from majority European markets in terms of getting messages out and meeting your peers, your business peers, in order to develop what's going on in the industry. And that's the core. That's what we're trying to achieve. The market itself is constantly evolving. MAPIC is having to constantly evolve. Something that Arnaud touched on earlier is that within the Middle East, this region has always tended to have vision versus maybe some of the more traditional markets within Europe. And making sure that the Middle East is a key partner in the entire retail community, and you can meet them every year at MAPIC, that's our aim.
You know, I believe that the retail and shopping centers industry is hungry. It is very hungry for new ideas, new technologies and concepts. I believe these are factors that would drive the market forward. And it's very good to know that there is something like MAPIC that can be a positive element toward that end goal. Certainly with the partnership of MECSC+R, it would leave a more recognizable impact.
We have 1,300 members who are part of the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers and Retail in the region. And how many of these, Arnaud, how many of these will find MAPIC something that they should go to?
Well, I think future will tell. If we do our job correctly, well, potentially all of those that have international expansion plans, for sure, whether they're shopping centers looking to attract brands from Europe or from around the world, whether it's retailers that are trying to expand into Europe, or providers, leisure operators that are also trying to conquer new markets. So if we do our job correctly, I would suppose we get at least 90% of the international companies or the companies that are expanding.
We feel very positive about this.
Something I'd like to add in here, guys, is we talk a lot, as we all do in this industry, about the evolution of the industry, but I just want to touch on something that's really core to what MAPIC is and to what events are at their heart. And as much as things continue to evolve, the reason why events and events like MAPIC are so useful is because we get to connect with people face to face. So I know that the industry is evolving. I know that in 5 years' time, or even 3 years' time, the things that we think that are important now will have changed drastically. What will not have changed is that I want to talk to someone face to face. If I'm doing business with someone, I want to meet my partners face to face. And that is why the event that you hold, Recon, that is why MAPIC, that is why events are so important. And I don't want us to lose track or underestimate that importance. So yes, we will talk as MAPIC about the new themes that we have and how things are evolving. But ultimately, what MAPIC can give your members, what MAPIC gives our network, is an annual opportunity to meet face-to-face and actually do business together, or certainly say hello, so that you can then do business together in the future.
Well, I've always believed that the greatest business that occurs happens through great relationships. And I think that events like our Recon Retail Congress that we're holding, like MAPIC, it's all a great opportunity to build and rebuild relationships that you've built over your career.
Yes, and I would say something that's also very important is with events, we're not just organizing meeting points in the calendar. What we're trying to do is really to create a global community. So yes, there is MAPIC in November. We also have MAPIC Italy in April for people who are interested in that specific market. But the backbone of this is that we are actually creating a community where there is media and communications opportunity all year long. People can still access the databases and our channels, and it's really a global community. MAPIC is that. It's more than just an event.
Thank you very much, David. Arnaud, it is a pleasure to have you here with us today, and both of you are very much welcome to come again, of course, anytime. Do you have any final messages for our members to know?
Firstly, thank you very much for having us. It's a pleasure to not only be joining forces with you, but to actually sit together and really flesh out some of the details about why this is useful for your members and for our network. I just want to share one thing that I'm personally very excited about. Within this region, we know that there are a tremendous number of malls, whether they are regional malls or community malls. But the thing that really excites me personally right now is that within the Middle East as a region, you have great entrepreneurial spirit. So for us to work together and to bring some of the entrepreneurs, some of the brand retail entrepreneurs that are coming from the region and looking to go international, that's something I really look forward to. I can't wait to use MAPIC as a platform to promote those brands. Earlier on, before we came into this podcast, we were talking about a brand from Saudi Arabia. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about them. I'm not promoting them. I'm not taking any commission here, but I'll bring them up as an example. When I was last in Jeddah, I went for coffee in a very cool new coffee shop called Overdose. And I just knew them as a local Saudi brand. The other day, when I was chasing after my daughter in Dubai Mall, I walked past their new huge double-story store where they are serving coffee. It's a Saudi brand. They're serving coffee in a brand new way, in an innovative format that's really, really engaging for the international audience. Now, I use that as an example for the kind of brand, the kind of retailers we want, because we have an audience. We have a world full of shopping centres looking for new, innovative concepts. So that's my parting comment. I'm really excited about working with you on that.
Yes, I completely share this, and this is where I think your local expertise, David, is very important to this. And I think it's like our business, it's all based on relationships, and we're just very, very happy to have that relationship with the Middle East Council of Shopping Centers, and we want to look at this long term, and we want to grow this together and just seize the opportunities. So very, very happy to be on today and to have met you and to have the chance to conduct this great initiative together with you guys and David.
Thanks, Arnaud. Thanks, David. One last thought that I wanted to just point out to our listeners is that our book that we published last year came out in October called Souks to Malls, Retail Entertainment in the Gulf. I sent along a half dozen copies to our New York office and asked them for their feedback. And one of the things they said was, there's nothing like this in North America. There's none of this entertainment that you have shown and showcased in your book that's actually in North America today. So I think it'd be great to have our members showcase this knowledge and level of expertise at MAPIC and do that annually. And I think it'd be a great initiative for everyone.
I agree. And something that I wanted to add actually was that, so I lived in Dubai for a number of years. I moved here back in 2005. And I've seen in 2005 what Dubai was doing already in terms of creating shopping destinations with the Mall of the Emirates, the indoor ski slope, the Dubai Mall, the aquarium. This is unique. This is unique in the world. And I think you mentioned earlier, David, that the Middle East is the unknown for this industry. But at the same time, I think people look up to the Middle East for their vision and for their capacity to come up with completely unique and the scale of the projects in terms of leisure and the ideas behind it are just an example for the rest of the world. And I think that's also the message that should be conveyed with this partnership, and that MAPIC could really benefit from showcasing those great ideas.
I agree. I certainly agree. There are a lot of bright minds from the Middle East, and to provide a platform for them would do them very good. It will really benefit them and move them forward to the next level of their businesses.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a great podcast. We look forward to inviting you back again whenever you have the time.
David, Justin, thank you so much for having us. It's been a pleasure being here.
Thank you.
I just want to add one last thing, and that's to everyone that's listening, and to everyone that gets this forwarded onto them, please click subscribe at the bottom of this podcast. Thank you.